All right, Shalom, Officer Karafia from the I.S.U.P.K in the UK. And our job to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that according to the Bible, the root Jews are black. So make sure you log into the I.S.U.P.K, man. Classes every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Log into the classes. So like that. And also make sure you subscribe to I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom on Instagram, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom on YouTube as well, man. Log in, powerful videos, powerful lectures. You know what I mean? You'll love it, man. Make sure you log into that. Also, make sure you come down to 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW, man. 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. Make sure you come to the classes, learn your heritage, learn, take notes. That's Monday, 7 p.m. to 9. Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9, Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9, man. You learn something that you can never learn in these churches, man. The church don't know God, don't know nothing. Ain't gonna learn your life, ain't gonna learn how to, you know, become a better person, become a better man, become a better woman, become a better child. Nowhere in the churches. The only thing you learn in these churches is sing and dance and, you know, hold yourself and pray and all that garbage up there, man. The things like that don't change nobody. You come in the I.S.U.P.K, you're looking at men that change, man. Men that lives were one way and now they live in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? Because we're the people that we're the people that follow the Most High, man. You know what I mean? So today we're gonna go into abortion. God, boy, nowadays everyone's aborting their babies like it's a trend. Nowadays, you know, abortion is murder, man. You know, killing a child is murder. You know what I mean? It's death. You got something living in your womb and you're killing it dead, man. And people just kill their baby like, you know, like it's another alternative. Like, oh, I got a baby, you know, didn't really want it, kill it. But, you know, that's you're killing a child, man. Your little stupid mistakes and your little sleeping around and not wearing protection and, you know, hoeing around and having sex with any girl you see. And a baby got to die for that, man. Someone got to die. Someone got to get murdered for that, man. And that's what abortion is. Abortion is murder, man. Don't let the oppressor lie to you, man. They lie to you and tell you that, nah, you know, abortion is when you make a mistake and you can rectify that mistake by killing a baby, really. By killing someone, by murdering someone. And obviously, whatever the oppressor says, our people believe, man. If the oppressor tells you the sky's green, our people think the sky's green, man. Anything he says, we gobble up, man. The oppressor tells you, black man, that Christ is a white man. And common sense tell you that, listen, ain't no white man ever come out of the Middle East, man. Ain't no white man has skin like bronze, man. You know what I mean? But because the oppressor says it makes sense, people believe in it, man. We tell you the Jews are black, man. But your oppressor says, nah, the Jews are white. And that because it says that, that's enough for you. You ain't got to study, you ain't got to research. That's cool for you, man. We tell you, listen, we ain't African, man. We're not Africans, man. The oppressor tells you, yeah, we are African. No one does no research. No one looks into it. Everyone goes, well, you know, we came from Africa in slavery. And the white man said that we're African, so therefore we must be African, man. And you make a man convince you to kill your baby, man. Have you not seen how cute a black baby is? And you make him kill you. You make him get in your head and make him tell you that it's okay to kill your baby, man. Kill your child. Why? Because I'm not ready for college yet. I'm not ready for uni yet. I don't want to ruin my figure yet, man. And you let him get in your head and kill your baby. If you're a black woman and your man's black and he puts seed in you, you're carrying the sons and daughters of God, man, in your womb. And you kill them kids, man. You're a murderer, man. You're a murderer. You make this man lie to you and gas you up, man. Lie to you and say, well, technically it's not really life. It's just sales, man. Come on, man. Don't be ridiculous, man. Let's see what God says about this, man. Give me Genesis 1 and 28. Genesis 1 and 28. Sorry, it's 127. That's up 27. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So the Most High made man male and female, man. For all you sexual deviants out there, man. For all you people that like to go to gay pride, man. For all you people talking about, well, you know, it's not harming nobody. He can be with a man if he wants. She can be with a woman if he wants. He can be a transgender if he wants. The Lord said he made them male and female. Didn't make two men. Didn't make two females, man. Didn't make a man to act like a woman and didn't make a woman to act like a man. The Lord made them male and female. And that's in the Bible, man. And that's common sense. That's nature. That's natural, man. Even a battery has negative and positive, man. Opposites attract, man. Even if you get a magnet and you put the red part of the magnet to the red part of the magnet, they repel, they push away from each other. And when you put the North Pole to the South Pole, they attract, man. Even if you get a socket, you get a plug socket, man. The one with the holes is called the female. It's called the female adapter, man. And the one with the pins, it's called the male adapter, man. That's common sense. Everyone knows opposites attract. And you're a man talking about, well, you know, even though it's natural, even though it makes sense, even though I can't have a baby with this man, I'm gonna have him anyway because it's love. The oppressor said that this is okay. He calls it an alternative lifestyle. And even though I can't have babies being a sexual deviant, even though it's wrong being a sexual deviant, even though it's considered crazy being a sexual deviant, I'm gonna do it anyway. Do you know a woman is made for a man? Look, man, go to school, man, and learn about sex ed, man. A woman's body is made for a man. Her private parts get moist for a man. For what reason? So the man can get in there, man. Now, a man's behind ain't made the same way. You know why? You want to know why? Because that area wasn't made for that, man. That region wasn't made for that, man. So, lucky, one moment. Good, yeah? Yes. All right, bless. Yeah, as I was saying, man, that region ain't made for that, man. You know what I mean? That region's made for one thing only, man. You know what I mean? My grandma would say, it's a doo-doo, man. You know what I mean? Any man going in there got a strong stomach, man. Any two man going in that, it was strong, man. Yo, I have to wonder sometimes. Anyway, let me read on. And he blessed them. Who's them? The male and female, man. Blessed them. Didn't bless man and man, didn't bless man and woman, didn't bless a man trying to be a woman, didn't bless a woman trying to be a man, didn't address a woman with a strap on and all types of nastiness. He blessed them, the man and the woman. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. You know what it means to be fruitful? Like, if you got a tree that's fruitless, I mean, if you go to an apple tree and there's no apples on there, that tree is not fruitful, man. An apple tree is supposed to produce apples, man. If an apple tree is not producing apples, that tree is not fruitful. And if you're a man and you have sperm in your rod, what are you supposed to produce? Children, man. And the Lord said, be fruitful, meaning produce children, man. God said that. God said that. Don't let no oppressor tell you, listen, you're not ready yet. Don't have that baby. You know, kill that baby, man. You're not ready. You know, nah, man. Look at him. He got 10 children. You got 4 baby moms, man. Something wrong with him. He's crazy. Oh, you know what I mean? How much more? What? You want 4 more kids? Nah, man, that ain't right, man. God said be fruitful, man. God said be fruitful. Don't let them play you, man. They put a down on black men. They say black men are bums. You know, we have kids everywhere and so forth. That's no one's business, man. How much kids I have is no one's business. Crawford, you know. Pressure, you know. You know what I mean? I got plenty of kids, man. And what I do in my spare time is no one's business, man. How is it you're going to get into a black man with loads of children when they do what God said they must do, man? Meanwhile, 2 homosexuals, that's none of your business, man. They ain't harming nobody, leave them alone. But a man got, you know, what's his name? Future. The rapper Future. It was like, Future got stopped now, man. Future got 6 baby moms and loads of kids, man. Come out of his business, man. The business you want to get into is them homosexuals, man. The business you want to get into is Tyler Perry, man. That's the man you want to get onto. Why? Who need to get on his Shibata, man? Go get on Shibata's back, man, and stop buying his shows, man. Stop going to his shows. Stop taking your girl to his shows. That's what you need to do. Someone go speak to Shibata. Shibata, why are you a man dancing like a woman, man? Why are you a man, you know, with a woman attributes, man? Stop buying Elton John's album. That's what you need to do. I stay up out of my business, man. Stay up out of Donga Bar's business, man. Stay up Officer Parash's business, man. That's what you need to do. I said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. You see that the word multiply? Everyone knows about what multiplication. What's called multiplication? Remember in school, your multiplication. Everyone knows what it means to multiply, man. When you got 2 and you times it by 2, that's multiplication right there, man. And you know what happens when you multiply? When you multiply, the numbers only get bigger, man. You know what I mean? It didn't say subtract, didn't say take away, didn't say divide, it said multiply. And if you've been to school, you know about anything about multiplication, the numbers only can get bigger, man. Only can get bigger, man. And that's what God commanded man to do, to multiply. And if you're a homosexual, you can't multiply, man. If you're a woman aborting them babies, you can't multiply, man. If you're a woman more concerned with your college degree, you can't multiply, man. Black woman, if you want a college degree, you know what you're supposed to do? Not open your legs, man. If you're more concerned about your figure, you know what you're supposed to do? Not open your legs, man. Be more careful, man. Make sure your man pulls out in time or something, man. But you don't have a right to kill them kids, man. You don't have a right to kill them kids. You're a murderer. Or the woman walking up and down like the shit don't stink. You should see them in their clubs walking up and down. When they're murderers, man, they're pretty good at the bar, getting everyone, having all these men buying their drinks. So you're a murderer, man. That pretty woman with a nice car thinking she's all that. You're nothing but a child murderer, man. Got the nerve to walk up and down. Why? Because some white man told you it's okay. You're just a murderer, man. You kill children, man. Your womb is a tomb, man. You got the nerve to walk around like you're all that. Got the nerve to walk around talking about it's Valentine's Day coming up in a couple of weeks. I want a gift. You don't deserve no gift, man. You don't deserve no Valentine's Day, man. Walk up and down like they're all that, like as if they're special. You're murdering kids, man. You're no better than the policeman that killed Mark Duggan, man. You're no better than these roadmen that sell drugs on the street, man. And these black women make me sick sometimes, man. I love them, but they walk around with their nose. Have you seen the other one? They walk around with their nose down at a roadman. Look at this roadman. He sells drugs now. I can't stand roadmen. Or do they smoke weed all day? Them roadmen smoke weed all day and stab people. Now I don't need no roadman stab people all day. But you kill people too, man.
That's right.
You kill children too, man. Think about yourself before you turn your nose up at a roadman, man. Think about yourself next time you say, now I don't need him, he's trouble. He ain't nothing but a drug dealer, man. He kill people for a living, man. Nah, man. I don't want them kind of riffraffs near me. You're a riffraff too, man. You're a riffraff too. You kill children that ain't even born yet, man. And replenish the earth and subdue it, and to have dominion over the fish of the sea and the fowls of the air and every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Let me know you ready, yeah? Let me get the next scripture now. We get Psalms 127 and 3. It's Psalms 127 and 3. And it reads, lo, which means look in Old English. I mean, look, you're black. So, like, you know what we talk about, man. Black in Jamaica, forget about it. They say, watch out. Or, look at this or whatever. Lo, children are a heritage of the Lord. You hear what God said? God said, children are a heritage, come from the Most High, man. That black man baby that you got in your womb, he's from the Most High, man. How dare you kill something that the Most High put there, man? How dare you remove something the Most High put there, man? God said, children are a heritage from the Lord. They're not a burden. They're not a mistake. They're not, oh my God, what have I done? I got to bought this. They're not, oh my God, I got college. I got university. Oh my God, my mom gonna find out. Oh my God, everyone gonna think I'm a whore. No, man. They come from the Most High, man. Children come from the Most High. Children are a heritage from the Lord. If you don't want no children, you don't have sex, man. You don't have to have sex. You don't have to replenish the earth. Paul was a man that had no children, man. That's right. Paul had no wife, man. And you want to know why Paul didn't have no children? Because Paul didn't have sex. You know what I mean? Paul made sure he was careful, man. Paul didn't have children because he went to what's it called? Bupa. Is it Bupa? Paul didn't have no children because he went to the termination clinic. Paul had no children because he didn't have sex, man. And likewise, black man, you don't want to have children. You can have sex, but be careful, man. Make sure you get a strong pull-out game. Are you men too, man? Don't be sending your girl to a clinic, man. Make sure you have a strong pull-out game, man. Make sure you pull that game strong, man. Else you're a murderer. Don't let the white man lie to you. The white man goes, well, before 6 months, it's not life. Not life. And then lock up people for cutting down trees, man. P. Diddy got locked up because there was a plant in his garden that he plucked up at the ground, and they said, no, this plant is protected by the government. He can't do that. You know what I mean? What is the white man said that? The white man says that cells in your womb that's growing every day, getting stronger every day, growing every day, man, multiplying every day. Every day that child in your womb is growing, it's getting eyes, you get the hands and feet, and that's not alive. Meanwhile, it calls plants living what? Living organisms, man. If the white man finds one drop of water on Mars, he said what? We found life on Mars. But that baby that God put there, that's not living. Nah, you can kill that. you're not really a murderer because you didn't really kill anything, man. Don't even lie to you, man. Don't even gas you up, man. Don't let me gas you up. Black man, if you shoot a pregnant woman, if you blow the brains of a pregnant woman, why did it charge you with double murder? I thought you only killed one person. I thought what was in the belly weren't living. They charged you with a double murder because they know there's two people in a room, man. They know that, man. Don't let them play you, man. Lying to you about, nah, it's not really life. And listen, man, you can't kill no baby, man. Black man, you can't send your woman to the abortion clinic. A black woman, you can't go to the abortion clinic, man. With your legs open wide, make the white man scrape your baby out your womb. And then on Saturday, I see you in the club again like you're holding down, man. I see you on Sunday banging the tambourine like you're holding down. Meanwhile, your child's in a jar, man. The sons of God are in a jar, man. Why? Because you got a party. Because you got to get the bottles with the glory at the bottom, man. You want to keep your you want to go to university and graduate in university, and then after you leave university, you're not able to get a job anyway. You want to go to uni, and then after you graduate from uni, flip burgers anyway and work in McDonald's, man. When I was 16, I worked in McDonald's, and guess who else worked there with me? Uni graduates. Every single one of them was Chinese uni graduates. Am I lying? All uni graduates. None of them were doctors. None of them were lawyers, and all of them was graduates, man. And you killed your baby for that. Your son's in a jar right now because you had to get a degree, and you didn't even get the degree, man. You let the white man play you, man. Flat, can we take over?
Yeah, can't.
No, swear, don't worry.
Man, what Officer's saying is super heavy, man. We've been taught this lie that we can do what we want, and it's up to us, and it's not, man. The Lord, He rules us. Get one about we don't own ourselves. That the Lord made us. It's in Psalms. But we don't own ourselves. I'll look for it while we're getting into it. But here's a problem, man. Well, it's not a problem. It's a good thing. Being an Israelite, you got rules.
God.
And guess what? And abortion, that is against the rules, man.
Right.
You killing your son, killing your daughter, that's against the rules. Don't let no one get in your head about, well, you're not ready yet. You know what I mean? Maybe later down. That's a lie. And do you want to know why? You can research it. Why they tell black people, abortions, you're not ready. Do you know what they do to white people? They influence them to have kids. You know what I mean? They're taking all these experiments and all these things to make white people have kids. Meanwhile, they're telling you, get rid of your kids. So it's got nothing to do with you're not ready. They don't like black people at all, man. They don't want you having no kids. They don't want you producing no more of the sons of God. And that's all what it is, man. We think, my education, and as what the officer said, I worked in McDonald's, and many other people there went to university, and they was educated in things I can't even pronounce, computer technology, and they're working with me. So you did 6 years in uni. Yeah, I got my this and that, and yeah, I'm an engineering, and you're here waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work in McDonald's with me. God. So what does it mean? You gave up the whole world. It's like you gave up yourself to what? Get nothing anyway. My education and my accountancy, and you're ending up in McDonald's anyway, man. So you know what you should have done? Had that baby. God. Have the baby and work there. Then what now? You've took a life, and you're working at McDonald's. So what was the point, man? You got that for me. No, sorry.
Exodus 21:22. If men strive.
Yes, now if men strive, what does strive mean? Fighting, man. If men are, getting into, so if men are like getting into a fight, read on.
And hurt a woman with child.
So now there's a woman, and guess what? She has a iod in her stomach. So now they hurt her. Read on.
So her fruit depart from her.
So her fruit depart from her. What's the fruit? That baby, man. So now this woman, because she was hit in the fight, and a fruit or a baby departs from her, read.
And yet no mischief follows.
So now if the baby's born and nothing wrong with the baby, no deformities, or the baby doesn't come out dead, read on.
He shall surely be punished.
He shall be punished. Why? Because he hurt a baby, man. They didn't just look and go, well, it's just her. It's her body. That baby inside of her, that's seen as a life also, man.
Right.
So regardless of if the baby was hurt or not, that man, he should get a fine or he should get something. Why? Because he hurt a child, even though the child ain't dead. Read on.
God, according to the woman's husband, will lay upon him.
So according to what the woman's husband will lay upon him, so that woman's husband be like, listen, man, you almost killed my baby, man. You almost killed my son. And then now whatever he thinks he should do, then you know what I mean, that's what he would do, whether it's a fine, whether it's whether it's the whip, whatever the case may be. Read on.
And he shall pay as the judges determine.
And then so he got a fine. So was they saying, well, it's her body, the baby ain't life? They didn't say that. They knew that regardless of the woman, the baby inside her, that's a life also. And if it gets hit or attacked, then you know what I mean, that man, he will have to pay a fine or whatever the husband determined. Read on.
And if any mischief follow.
So now if any mischief does follow, you look at the word, it means evil. So meaning the baby comes out deformed because of the hit, or the baby comes out dead because of the hit. Read.
Right. Then thou shalt life for life.
What did the Bible say?
Then thou shalt give life for life.
But I thought that the baby, it was not no life.
Then thou shalt give life for life.
So why does the Bible say you should give life for life? Because what is inside her, that's life, man.
God.
Whether it's 1 month old, whether it's 2 months old, it's a life. And if a man, you know what I mean, in his fight, he ends up hitting a woman who was pregnant and that baby comes out dead, you give life for life, meaning that man dies for what he done to that life, which is that baby. So guess what? Abortion is murder. That's a life you are taking. It's a life that doctor is scraping out of, man. And they tell you, well, it's not technically a life. You know what I mean? It is a life. And God said it's a life. In his law, read on.
Eye for eye.
Eye for eye, meaning the baby comes out deformed because of the fight. Then that man's eye, it had to go.
God.
So you know what I mean? So the baby is seen as a life. So don't let no one in this day and age tell you it's not a life. Because according to God, it is a life. Read on.
Tooth for tooth.
Tooth for tooth. Read on.
Hand for hand.
Hand for hand. So whatever deformity the baby had, the man who made it happen, he will either lose his eye, he will either lose his hand, whatever he did. You know what I mean? The family, to make it right, he will have to lose that exact same thing, man. You got another one for me?
Lamentations 4:1. How does the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed?
So now hang on. The Lord's comparing you, black man, to fine gold, man. You know what I mean? While in this day and age, we're seen as low, down, dirty. The Bible says that you, black man, you are fine gold, man. When you serve the Lord, you are the finest gold on the face of this earth, man. Read on.
How is the most fine gold changed?
And so hang on now. How has it changed? Meaning, why are we aborting our kids, man? Why are we selling drugs? Why are we in gangs? Why are we living an immoral way of life, man? And the Lord's saying, how is this fine gold now just changed? We've changed, man. Read the Bible. Read about King Solomon. Read about Samuel. Read about Samson. Read about men that fought for us to keep the laws of God. And now what's happened? We have changed. We've changed when we're in the church. We've changed when we are in the mosque. And the Lord's saying, what happened? Read on.
The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion.
What did the Bible say?
The precious sons of Zion.
And that's it, man. In the sight of God, we are precious, man. I know in these days and this day and age, we think we're nothing. But in the eyes of God, you are valuable, black man.
Right.
And guess what? If you want to be valuable, abortion's a no-go. You killing your sons and your daughters, it's not even an option, man. Guess what? You have a son or a daughter and you didn't really want it yet. So what, man? You got to fight for it. It's going to be rough, but you have to do it. You can't let no one get in your ear. Well, you're not ready yet. And you know what I mean? Like, look at the family income. You can't raise a child of that. Says who? Look in the West Indies, man. You got families with loads of kids, and guess what? They hardly have nothing. And you're telling me in England you have to abort a child? That's a lie, man. Whoever told you that is a liar, and you want to know what it really is. They don't want black people having kids anyway. That's all what it really is. Read on.
How are they esteemed as earthen pictures?
So now imagine this. First we're fine gold. Now we're just made of a part of the earth. What's of the earth? Things like clay. To saying, how was we at one point fine gold to now we're just esteemed as clay? Read on.
The work of the hands of the potter, even the sea monsters draw out the breast.
So imagine that, man. Even the monsters in the sea, they feed their young ones, they feed their kids. Look at the fishes, the whales, the octopuses, meaning that even those monsters of the sea, they look after their kids, they protect their young, they're not aborting nobody. Read on.
They give suck to their young ones.
Uh-huh.
The daughters of my people.
The daughters of who?
My people.
And what does it mean by his people? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You are the people of God. And God's saying, look at the sea monsters, man. Look at the shark. Look at the whale. Look at the octopus. What's some other ones? The great sharks, the white sharks, the what? Sorry, the hammerhead shark. They feed their young. They nurture their young. But God's saying, our people, the women of our people, black women, Hispanic women, Native Indian women. Read.
It's become cruel.
We have become what?
It's become cruel.
Aborting our babies is what?
It's become cruel.
Neglecting our kids is what?
It's become cruel.
And that's the problem, man. We have become cruel and we don't even realize it. A lot of us think, you handing your son or your daughter to your grandmom is acceptable. And no, it's not, man. Your mom raised you. It's not her job to be looking after your kids. You know what I mean? Everyone just here. You know what I mean? And while you're out living your life, to your kids, you know what I mean? You become wicked, man. Your kids are meant to see your face, not your grandmom's face. And guess what? When you abort them, this is what the Bible is talking about right here, man. You know what I mean? Look at the sea monsters. They look after theirs, and we don't look after ours, man. When you abort yours, you hate your kids. When you neglect your kids, you hate them, man. When you just dump them off at your grandmom's house, you hate your kids. Why? Because you would want to spend your time with them, man. Read that again.
Like the ostrich in the wilderness.
Like the ostrich. What does the ostrich do? Just dig its head in the sand, pretend like nothing's wrong, pretending like he don't see what's happening. And that's what we do as black people, man. Your kids, you just dig your head in the sand. They're fine. They're looked after. I'll give an example for the men and the women. You got men out there don't know how, don't know how their son is. They don't know if their son is even alive. They don't know if their daughter's even alive. Meaning what? You just dug your head in the sand, man. You don't know if that mother's even abandoned them. And that's what an ostrich does, just dig its head in the sand. I don't know. Life's fine. And then even the woman, man, you abandon your kids, you abort kids, not knowing what they could have even been, not knowing what they would have even became, not knowing, you know what I mean, that when you're old, they would have helped you. And what did you do? Dig your head in the sand. Well, I want that good job. I'm in university. I'm 3 years in. And you become an ostrich, just digging your head in the sand, man. Read on.
Job 39:13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacock, or the wings and feathers unto the ostrich?
Unto the ostrich. So now it's talking about the ostrich. It's giving the attributes of the ostrich. Read on.
Which leaveth her eggs in the earth.
Which does what?
Leaveth her eggs in the earth.
And that's what an ostrich does, man. Leaves its eggs in the earth, meaning an ostrich abandons its kids, man. And when you abort any child, you have abandoned them, man. You've abandoned their life. You put them to death, man. And God's comparing black women, Hispanic women, and Native Indian women to an ostrich, man. He just leaves their eggs and goes about living life, and you can't do that, man. If you love someone, you look after them. If you love someone, you don't put them to death, man. And that's what you're doing anytime you have an abortion, man. Many people like to make it seem nice. You are someone that took a life, man, a murderer. That's what it's called. Abortion ain't, thinking ahead. Abortion ain't thinking smart. Abortion is a murder. And if you do it, you are a murderer, man. The same way someone shoots someone, the same way someone puts a knife in someone's chest, you murdered your son, man. You murdered the daughter that you was meant to have in a hospital, man, via the NHS. Read on.
And warm of them in the dust.
And warm of them in the dust, meaning you make the dust keep them eggs warm. And what do we do, man? People just abandon their kids, leave them, just outside in a hospital. You're making the NHS make your sons warm, make your daughters warm, and it's not meant to be that way. It should never be that way. If you love your kids, you make sure they're warm. You make sure they're looked after. You don't leave them at your grandmom's. You don't just leave them at the NHS. You don't just give them the birth to them and then just abandon them, which happened recently in a hospital. A woman, she gave the birth to a child and has left it in the hospital, gone. And you know what I mean? And that's how we become like the ostrich. And you know what I mean? Here's the problem. Everyone can talk about the black man all day long, but what's the problem? You mentioned the woman, not all of them. They're all not like that. When you talk about black men, no one says not all of them. No one says, well, we're talking about a minority. But here's the problem, man. This society, it puts black women on this high horse where, you know what I mean, they never do wrong. And when you mention it, you're cruel. When you talk about them, you're evil. When you talk about them, you're ignorant. When at the UPK, we talk about the black woman just as much as we talk about the black man. And we're gonna do it. And today is the woman's time, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's like the ostrich leaving their kids, man, out there sleeping with next men while your kids are at your grandmom's house. Or your kids are at your mom's house. And you're meant to be looking after them kids. Your mom done her job and looked after you and raised you. And then here you come. Yeah, mom, I want to go out here and I want to go out there. And you leave him at your mom's house when it's not her job. It's your job. You can't be like, I just want to enjoy myself. Well, you can't, man. Do you want to know why? Because your mom did not enjoy herself when she looked after you. But here you are, I want to go here. I want to go up north. I want to go Manchester to this dance and that dance. And you got kids you should be looking after, man. You got kids that should be seeing your face and they ain't seeing your face. They're seeing their grandmom's face. They're seeing their granddad's face while you're at there whoring all day long, man. You know what I mean? 1 week with this man, 2 months with this man, bringing this man home. This is your new stepdad here. And these are things that need to be spoken about too, man. Read on.
God. And forget that the foot may crush them.
And she forgets them. So now that's what ostrich does. Leaves his eggs in the sand and forgets about them. An ostrich may walk and squash his own eggs. And that's how we have become, man. We become a nation of people that forget about our eggs, aka our kids, man. Our sons and our daughters. We forget about them. You got so many aborting them. And then what's next? Even those that do have them, they forget about them. You know what I mean? You got kids and you're out there in nightclubs every weekend. You got kids that need new clothes and you're out there buying Air Jordans and buying Nike Maxes and buying expensive rentals. And you got kids. You're out there, with your friends going, what's some holidays? Ibiza, Ayia Napa. When you got kids that you should be looking after on the Instagram, winding up yourself, when you got kids at home that need your attention. You got kids at home that need your care, right. And you're in Ayia Napa being some whore, man. And that's why God compares the black woman. Now, of course, here we go. If you're in the truth and you're following the commandments, it don't apply to you. But if the shoe fits, then wear it, man. Simple as. You're there in I.S.U.P.K winding up on a place on Instagram, Snapchat. When you got kids that need your attention, man, that flight money should have been spent on them, man. When you got kids, there's something called missing out. And, I don't think people know about that. You know what I mean? You have kids and think, well, I'm not missing out. They're going to miss out. They're going to wear some shoes that don't even fit their feet no more. You know what I mean? And you do all that, man. And that's the problem. We got to talk about it, man. On the streets in camp, we get on the man all day, man. And now it's your turn, man. Read on.
And that the wild beast may break them.
And that what?
That the wild beast may break them.
And when an ostrich leaves eggs, what happens, man? The predators, they get them eggs. How does that apply to today, man? If you don't raise your kids in the Bible, what did the beast represent? The other nations. If you don't raise your kids, what happens? Other nations raise them up. Other nations influence them with being a drug dealer. Other nations influence them with homosexuality. Other nations influence them with fighting the military, joining the MI5. Other nations influence them to do what they want them to do. Do you want to know why? Because it's your fault. You neglected them and you made someone else raise them. And that's the problem, man. I'm sick of hearing, I raised 5 kids by myself. Here's the problem. Look at them. Now, if you raise 5 righteous sons by yourself, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, that's right. One's a drug dealer. One's a homo. One's, you know what I mean, in gangs. One's locked up doing 25 years. You raised 5 kids by yourself, really? You sure? You sure? Didn't you just make sure they was fed? Or you just made sure they had a house? But did you raise them right? And that's the problem, man. Everyone loves to talk about this woman raised 6 kids by herself, and look at them. Look at them. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to just, knock everyone down, but look at the results of it. Was it really that good? No, it wasn't, man. Read on. That's it. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Wisdom of Solomon 12:5, and also.
Yeah, mine as well.
Verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
For thine incorruptible Wisdom of Solomon 12:1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things.
Yeah, read on.
Therefore, chastenest thou them by little and little that offend.
So now, listen to what the Lord's saying, man. Well, through King Solomon, whenever we go off, the Lord, he corrects us bit by bit, man. You mean we go off and the Lord's like, you know what? Whenever my people don't follow my laws, I'm going to correct them bit by bit so that we hearken, so that we listen. And that's something that a lot of us don't understand. Whenever your life is upside down, that's the Lord correcting you, man. That's the Lord chastising you to let you know that he doesn't approve of the way how you are living. Read on.
And warneth them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended.
And there you go, man. The Lord, he's warning you. He's trying to make you remember that you have offended, man. Whenever people go, my life's upside down. My kids hate me. I got bills up to here. And, life is so bad. The Bible tells you why. Because the Lord's trying to put you in remembrance that you are offending. The Lord's reminding you that you are smoking weed. The Lord's reminding you that you are a filthy drug dealer, man. The Lord's reminding you that you are a whore. The Lord's reminding you that you are taking lives. And that's why your life is in the predicament that it is. Because the Lord's warning you. Read on.
That leaving their wickedness, they may believe on thee, O Lord.
And there, man, that if you leave your wickedness, that they may believe on the Most High. And that's why black life is so hard, man. Because the Lord's trying to make you believe on him. But you're like, why me, Lord, man? Why me? What's that song about? Like, why is he always battered down? what's it called? You know what I mean? Meaning even reggae songs in the 80s and even before, those songs about I'm oppressed. Why me, God? And the Bible lets you know why. Because you are offending, and the Lord's warning you that listen, if you believe on me, all this can end. If you believe on me, I can end, you know what I mean, all your knife crime. I can stop drug dealing. I can stop black people hating each other. But it comes at a cost. You gotta believe on me. Read on.
For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land.
There's now who's the old inhabitants? The Canaanites,
Right.
the Amorites,
Right.
the Hittites, the Jebusites. And the Lord's saying that by the hand of us, we kick them out the land, and it's going to let you know what they did in the land of Jerusalem. Read on.
Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft.
And there, man, the Lord hated the Amorites, the Lord hated the Hittites, the Canaanites, the Jebusites for their odious work. And what is some of their odious works, man? Having all those rings upon their neck till like the neck is all up here like a giraffe. Putting that plate lip, putting that plate in their lip, man. That's odious works. That's strange. Imagine this: you got a nice lip, and you cut a hole in it. I've seen how to do it. They cut a hole in the lip right here, and first I put in one plate that is about this big. Then when it expands, you put in the bigger plate, the bigger plate, the bigger plate, till your lip is all out here, man. God's saying they were doing some odious works. Oh gosh, if I tell you this one, I might make you like sick, man. There's one where with the private part, they literally saw it in three. So the private part being in the man's genitals is literally coming out like that. It's not one, you know what I'm saying? It's literally in like three parts. That's odious work. First of all, that's painful, even thinking about it. And they do that. And the Lord's saying, listen, they had to go for their odious works. Read on.
God. Works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices. And also
wicked sacrifices. And we're going to find out what one of these sacrifices were. Read on.
And also those merciless murderers of children.
The what?
Those merciless murderers of children.
AKA abortions, man. The Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, many of those nations that were in the land before us, they were doing abortion too, man. Murdering their kids, man. Murdering their sons and daughters. If you don't believe me, research it, man. Research about the god called Oleg. And you know what I mean? Obviously, when I'm saying a god, it's not really a god, but they worshipped it as a god. In the Bible, it says they are no gods, meaning they're not real. They don't exist. There's no entity behind it, man. It's nothing. But you can look it up online where it's got its hands out like this, and inside its gut, it's got a hole where you would place the baby there and you would light it up on fire and you would sacrifice it thinking that God, he would bless you. And that's what this is talking about. They was killing their kids, aka abortions, man, taking lives of babies. It's called abortion now, but back then that was the ancient form of abortion right there. If you can get it online. Just, you know what I mean, just to show them what I'm talking about.
Put your phone to the see. Show you.
I got you. All right, the cartoon one, 1 second. That one's good too. Yeah, we can take that one. All right, so all right, it's at me at the moment. I got it. All right. show you. So that's how we look at the moment. So it's a depiction, but as you can see, with the man that's on the platform is putting the baby in the idol's hands, and then they're gonna set it alight, and that was the so-called God called Olek right there, and that was the ancient form of abortion back then, and the Lord, he disapproved of that, man. That's why he called them merciless murderers of kids, man. They murdered kids, and that's what abortion is. Don't let no one word it to you nicely. You're thinking smart. You're planning ahead. You're thinking, how you gonna afford for this child? You're working in McDonald's right now. Listen, you can raise that child with McDonald's, man. You can raise that child working in McDonald's. It's not gonna be easy, but listen, your conscience is right. Why? Because you ain't no murderer. You can look yourself in the mirror every day knowing, listen, I didn't kill no babies. Do you want to know a fact? Many people that have an abortion, do you know that it affects them in a mental way as well? That's why even when they do it, they gotta speak to a psychiatrist and all that, because it does affect them. They're gonna look themselves in the mirror every day knowing, I killed a baby, man. A baby was scraped out of me. And guess what? I authorized it. I said yes. I gave the doctor the go ahead, and it affects them mentally. And that's why they gotta see a psychiatrist. They gotta vent and go on like shows and stuff where they say that they feel more relieved now when they don't, because they know mentally what it's done to them. Anymore on that?
Exodus 20 and 13.
Yeah, let's grab that.
Exodus 20 and 13. Thou shalt not kill.
What did the Bible say?
Thou shalt not kill.
And if you have an abortion, you are a murderer, a killer, man. You're in the Hebrew, it's la'ah tharatazak, and that tharatazak, it means murder. So you know what I mean? When you have an abortion, you are a murderer, man. You're breaking one of the 10 commandments, which everyone loves so much. In the Bible, there's 613 commandments, but everyone loves the 10. And if you have an abortion, you're breaking one of the 10. You mean from there, give me Psalms 103.
Psalms 103 and 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me.
So, is that it? Psalms 103? What's that? Psalms 100 and then verse 3.
Oh, 100.
Yes, I hear it.
Psalm 103. Know ye that the Lord, he is God.
So now the Bible says, know you, meaning you need to know that the Lord, he is God, man. The Most High, he's God. He's the judge. He determines what's right and wrong. Everyone's got their opinion, and what they say, you got your truth, I got mine. That's bollocks, man. That's not the Bible. You know what I mean? In the Christian church, what does some of them say? But that's what God's showing you. But in this verse, God's showing me this. That's a lie, man. God gave one understanding for Israelites to follow, man. God gave one understanding so that blacks and Hispanics, we can be on one accord. There's not, well, this is your truth, but when I read this is my truth. This is what I understand. That's a lie, man. The Bible says you need to know that the Lord Yahweh, he is God, meaning he's the judge. He determines what's right and what's wrong. He determines what you can do and what you can't do. Read on.
It is he that have made us.
So hang on now. The God of Israel, he is the judge, and he made us. Read.
And not we ourselves.
And we didn't make ourselves. So what does that mean? If God says having an abortion is wrong, then it is wrong, man. Why? Because God made you and you didn't make yourself. You didn't make yourself to go, well, I don't think it's wrong. That don't make sense to me. It's my body. God made your body. You didn't make yourself. And God said, with the body that he gave you, you can't have no abortion. You can't kill none of your kids. Why? Because God made you and you didn't make yourself. Read that again.
Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that have made us, and we, and not we ourselves.
And we didn't make ourselves. So what does that mean? With that high judge, you need to listen to him. There's no more your opinion, what I think, well, that makes sense to me. It don't work like that. Read on.
We are his people.
What did the Bible say?
We are his people.
And guess what? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, you are the people of God. Meaning what? You can't have no abortions. You can't sacrifice none of your kids. You can't let no doctor get in your ear about, well, you can't really afford the baby. It's not really feasible. It's not really feasible for you right now. You know what I mean? You and this man, you're very young, and a child. It's such a responsibility, and I don't think you're ready for that. Listen, tell him to get lost, man. You want to know what he needs to do? Tell him to raise his kids. While he's there in your ear, his kids are out there doing whatever they want to do. He might want to go and find his kids before he's advising you what you should do with yours. And you know what I mean? We being the people of the Lord, we are forbidden to have an abortion. You are forbidden to let some doctor scrape a baby out to you, man, and have it in some jar to experiment on. It's forbidden. You cannot do it, man. Read on.
And the sheep of his pasture.
Meaning we are led by God. We are sheep, and God leads us, man. And God led us to let us know that having an abortion is wrong. Right. God led us to know that shouldn't even be in your mind. Whenever you have a child, that's it, man. There's no abortion. There's no alternative. You accept it, and you know what I mean, it's not always easy, but you gotta make it work. You gotta do it. And why is it hard to accept? Anything in life, when it's hard, you accept it. Everyone hates their job, but what happens? You show up on time. Why? Because you know that's what you gotta do. And likewise with your kids, man. But whether you was ready or not, you gotta do it. You gotta accept it and go, well, this child's here. I gotta just get on with it. I might have to stop doing what I want to do. I might want to stop my holidays to I.S.U.P.K and just raise my son, raise my daughter. I might not have to get his rental and you know what I mean, spend that money on my kids. And that's the problem. No one wants to do that, man. Everyone wants kids and wants to live their immature dream. I got my Mercedes. I'm going I.S.U.P.K for what? When you got kids that need that money. You got kids that need your time, and you can't be dumping them off at your grandma's house neither, man. Read on.
Enter into the gates with thanksgiving and into the courts with praise.
All right. That's it on that. Give me 2 Corinthians 3:16.
Second Corinthians 3:16. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away.
So it might be 1 Corinthians 3:16 about we are the temple of the Lord.
1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
So now listen to what he's saying, man. Listen to what the apostle Paul writ to the Corinthians. Know ye not, meaning you don't know that you are the temple of the Lord. Read on.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
And guess what, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, the Spirit of God dwells in you, man. And how do you know? You mean we are the people of God, even in our unrighteousness, the things that you would never do. Even when we're lost, calling ourselves Christians, Methodists, Muslims, Baptists, still the Spirit of God is still in you, but you go, nah, I can't do that. That's wrong. While as every other nation, they do what they want to do. Read on.
If any man defile the temple of God, Him shall God destroy.
And now, how do you defile yourself? You make yourself defiled when you have an abortion, man.
Right.
You are defiling yourself when you're in some hospital with a doctor scraping out the remainders of your baby, man. You defile yourself, and that's the problem. Because of religion, because of us listening to our oppressors, we don't even know what defiling ourselves is, man. Read on.
For the temple of the Most High is holy.
And guess what? The temple of the Most High is holy. And who's that? You, black man. You, black woman. You are the temple of the Most High, and you are holy. You are separate. You can't have no abortion because you're holy. You can't let no doctor scrape out the remainders of your baby because you're holy. Look at the Asian Greeks with the Spartans. Do you know what they used to do? Whenever like a woman had a baby, if they looked at the baby and thought it's not going to grow above 6 feet, it's not going to be strong, do you know what they would do? They would throw the baby over a mountain, and that mountain still exists till this day. And research it around that same region there, you'll find lots of skeletons of dead babies. You know what I mean? All Asian heritages done some form of abortion, but God's saying we are not to do it. Do you want to know why? Because we are holy. We are separate. Read on.
Which temple ye are?
And we are the temple of God, and we are holy, and we can't have no abortions. Read on.
Let no man deceive himself.
Meaning, let no man deceive himself. Don't let no doctor come up to you about, baby's not feasible for you. You can't afford it. How you gonna live? You're a young, strapping lad, and you want to go and see the world, and that baby's just not gonna make you do it, man. You're a young woman, and they like to lie to you. You're very smart, and college. Believe me, you're gonna get A stars, and that baby's gonna stop that. And you being dumb, yeah, that's true, You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the best accountant in the world, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get all A stars, which You know what I mean? But you make someone lie to you, and it says, "Don't make no one deceive you." Read on.
If any man among you seem wise in this world, let him become a fool.
And that's the problem. People that have abortions, what is the problem? They're wise in this world. And how do you know they're wise in this world? Because they say, well, listen, I can't afford this. How am I going to live? How are we going to survive? You are wise in this world. You ain't wise in the knowledge of God. You're wise in this world. Well, for me to have a baby, I got to be making 30 grand a year. Says who? There's people on less than that, and they got 6, 7, 8 kids, and they're living, man. They're fine. So that's a lie. And here's the problem. You are wise in this world. When you let that guy get in your ears, you go, yeah, that makes sense. You are wise in this world and not wise in the knowledge of God. Read on.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
What did the Bible say?
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
And that's the problem. The wisdom of this world in the eyes of God, it's just ridiculous, man. And that's something that a lot of us don't understand. While they try to educate you in their way, you see the opposite every day. They tell you abort your babies, and you can't survive on that income. You're working at McDonald's, you're making 19 grand a year. Think about it. That's very hard for you. That's that's rough. While they say that to you, look around. In the ghetto, there's many people that raise kids on job seekers allowance. There's many people that raise kids who are strong and well fed on benefits, man. You can do it. And that's the problem. You've been deceived and you follow the knowledge of this world, and God makes all those babies live, man. God. All those kids in the ghettos that the mom's poor. Yes, the mom, she obviously done the Isupk part, but it's the Lord, man. The Lord raised all those kids in the ghettos whose mom was on job seekers allowance, whose mom was on benefits, man. And that's the problem. The knowledge of this world in the in the eyes of God, it's just ridiculous, man. Foolishness. And it doesn't compare, man. Do you want to know why? Because God feeds the Israelites. God feeds blacks and Hispanics. Even when we're poor, we grow up big and strong, man. In the ghettos, in the gyms, there's black men that are strong. And they was raised on job seekers allowance money. They was raised on benefits. And in the knowledge of this world, what did they say? You can't feed a child on 19 grand a year. It's just not going to happen, man. You know what I mean? You got to buy his clothes when he's in education. And it happens all the time. While they tell you it can't happen, you see every day. You live in Handsworth. You live in Mosside. You live in Liverpool. You live in the ghettos of London. And black people live in poverty. Black people are surviving being poor and we're strong and we're fed. And that's the Lord, man. Not the knowledge of this world. Read on.
For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
And that's what the Lord does. Takes their wise in their own craftiness. While they're telling you, have the abortion. While they're telling you, get rid of him or her. The Lord takes them out. Why? Because they're trying to make us have less kids. But guess what? We always have more. Even when we're poor, we are having plenty kids, man. I mean, there's loads of us. Even when we're down, even when we're dying, even when we're suffering, man. By now, Israelites, black people, we should be extinct. But has that ever happened? Never. Why? Because the Lord's protecting us. The Lord's making sure that we eat. The Lord's making sure that we are fed. Read on. Yeah.
Okay. Exodus 1 and 9.
All right, so we're gonna give you an example. As I said, with the doctor, he tries to deceive you, he tries to convince you. And now let's get into some history, man. This is a time called Exodus when the Egyptians they enslaved another race of people that had dark skin, who were the Jews, who were the Israelites. And with abortion, they tried the same thing. They tried the same tactics that our oppressor basically does on us right now. Read on.
Exodus 1 and 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren.
So now, of course, this is Exodus 1. But if you read in Genesis 50, 51, everyone was there. Joseph was alive. Judah was alive. Benjamin, Levi. We was all alive. But what happened, of course, they died. And their descendants, they lived on in the land of Egypt. Read on.
And all that generation.
Uh-huh.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly.
That's the problem. In the eyes of the Egyptians, we increased abundantly. What does abundantly mean? A lot. Just like today, man, we're in another land increasing abundantly, man. Everyone I know has plenty of kids, man. 5 kids, 6, 7. We increase abundantly. And let me tell you something, black man, black woman, having lots of kids in the eyes of the Lord is wonderful. Don't let no oppressor get in your ear about just have your son and your daughter, and then that's it. You got one of each, man. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? They make it look like, that, you know what I mean? That's life. You got your one son, your one daughter. It's manageable. It's nice. In the eyes of God, you want to have plenty kids, man. You want to have loads. And of course, be wise. But don't abort no kids, man. If you can only afford 3, then so be it, man. You can afford 6. But in the eyes of the Lord, the more the better, man. So now in Egypt, we was increasing abundantly. We were having lots of kids. Read on.
And waxed exceedingly mighty.
And grew exceedingly mighty, meaning we grew strong with having lots of us. We knew who we were, and we was growing mighty. We was raising up strong sons to protect you, which is what it's about, man. Do you want to know something? What determines a winner in a war? how much men you got, how much men are going to fight for you. So if someone's telling you have less kids, then you are losing a war. You mean you ain't got enough manpower to win a war, man. And likewise with us as Israelites, we have plenty kids. We have lots of sons. So that what happens? If a war happens, you got warriors. Right. You got defenders to defend you. You need kids to help you. So how can someone say, well, you shouldn't have kids, you should abort kids? When kids protect you, that son who you are raising up, when he becomes a big 6-foot man, he's going to defend you. When someone robs your house, that son is in that house. When you need help, that son's going to fix your car. That son's going to look after you when you're old. So an abortion doesn't even make sense. Read on.
And the land was filled with them.
And the land was filled with us, just like England, man. The land is filled with Israelites in Birmingham, in Manchester, in Derby, in Nottingham, in London, up in Moss Side, up in Longside, up in Liverpool. And the land is filled with us, man. And like, guess what? The same way how our oppressor feels now, the Egyptians felt the same way, man. Read on.
God. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
So now there was a new king, and he forgot about what our ancestors did in Egypt. He forgot about, how they was fed in the famine because one of us, he warned them about what would happen. So now this new Pharaoh, he forgot all about it. He's a Pharaoh like Joseph, Israelites, Egypt, sod that. I don't know what he did, who he is, who they are. Read on.
And he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel are more and mighty than we.
And that's the problem, man. He saw something, what our oppressor sees in the UK right now, that we are more and mightier than them. Now, I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but well, in this case, it is whether people like it or not. For a white man to have a kid, do you know how hard it is for him? And you can research it. White people need sperm banks. They need all kind of stuff to have kids. Like, it's researchable. You know what I mean? While as for black people, we have kids easily, man. You know what I mean? Some of us have kids by accident. Like, oh, yeah, I was drinking and you got the baby. Oh, gosh. While as for white man, he really has to spend money to have kids. He has to go to a sperm bank, goes to take all kind of operations, do anything for him to have one child. That one son it's like an investment for him. While as for black people, kids is like second nature. You know what I mean? Men that are 18 having kids by accident. While as for them, of course, not all of them, but for a majority, it's researchable. For them to have kids, it's a struggle. And likewise, in the time of Exodus, the Pharaoh that rose up, he's like, nah, man, this ain't right. Look at them. They're multiplying so much, man. You know what I mean? Like, look at one family with all 10 kids, one with another 10. Look at those strong, strapping young men. Nah, man, these people, they're becoming more and mightier than we. Read on.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
What did the Bible say?
Let us deal wisely with them.
And this Pharaoh said, let us deal wisely with them. Let them have some abortions, man. Let's make it look like having so many kids is so ghetto, so trashy. Look at your house, it's packed up with so many kids. There's 6 of them sharing one bedroom. Oh gosh. Now, if you had your son and your daughter, they could have their separate bedrooms. You know what I mean? What they say? With the boy, he has his bedroom with his bed car, you know what I mean? Within the walls painted blue, man. And your girl has a Barbie bed and the walls are pink, man. You know what I mean? Look how nice life looks, but we don't have that, man. You got 6 of us in one bedroom with like bunk beds everywhere. One here, one there, one on that wall. All 6 of them bunk bedded up, man. And ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I mean? That's how we get the job done. Even when they're 16, they're in those bunk beds still, man. You know what I mean? Till they leave. But you know what I mean? Nothing's wrong with it. Don't feel ashamed. That's what our oppressor uses to make you stop having kids, to make you think about that, abortion right there. Look at all of you, man, sharing those bedroom. 6 kids sharing one bedroom, and then the other 6 they're sharing the next room. You even turn like a room that ain't even made for beds. You've got that as an bedroom for some extra kids, and they make it seem horrible when it's not, man. You are being plentiful. You are growing abundantly. That's what you're doing. Read on.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass, when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
And guess what? In Egypt, that Pharaoh, he was thinking like, if a war breaks out, because there's so much of them, if a war happens, if they join our enemies, then damn, you mean we're going to lose? Why? Because there's so much of us. Like in England, man. God forbid we wake up to who we are and there's so much of us. God forbid that, we start following them and there's so much of us. We'll be able to defend ourselves. We'll be able to have our own. And any time in history when people see that there's so much of us, they get afraid. Anytime in history when someone sees how strong we are, how much kids we can have, they get afraid. And that's why inside the black mind, they push abortion. They push the least kids, the better. It looks more presentable on the job. I got my 2 kids. I got my son and the daughter. Man, what's wrong with saying, listen, I got 8 kids, man. I got 4 daughters and 4 boys, man. And they share beds. One sleeps at the top, one sleeps at the bottom. And I don't care why, because I'm feeding them. I'm supporting them. I don't care about how it looks. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you for the extra bedroom in your house. They're in my house and they're getting fed. So what if 3 of them have to share like some big bed? That's my problem. It's not yours. And they make you look ghetto. Oh, look at that, man. Look at all them kids coming out of that one house. So what? So what, man? They're your kids. And guess what? When you get old, they're going to look after you. Those sons that are squeezed up in that one house, they're going to grow big and strong and defend you, man. And that's what they don't like. When you stop having kids, you're taken away from defending yourself. You're taken away from the defense of your nation. Read on.
And join our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
What did the Bible say?
And so get them up out of the land.
And what does that mean? Make them integrate. Make them learn our ways. Don't make them have their own heritage, their own way of life. The land that they was in, which was what called yeah, it's called well, there's a modern day name. If you research, it's called Avery's. We was there in the ancient times. It was called Ocean. And what did they do? Made us get up out of that land and made us integrate. Made us think, listen, man, learn our ways. You Israelites, you got too much kids, man. Look at you, man. You got 6 girls and 2 boys, and they're all sharing bedrooms and all that stuff. And just like now, when we came over here in the 60s, we had kids, man. If your dad was a Rasta man, you know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend like you don't know. Rastas had plenty kids, man. Some you knew of, some you didn't know. You come to his house one day, you see one young boy just sitting down like, who's that? Oh, it's your next other. And that's how we lived. We had plenty. We grew abundantly, and there's nothing wrong with it. Read on. Any more on that?
Therefore, they did set them taskmasters to afflict them
and
their burdens.
So to make us stop growing abundantly, they set taskmasters over us, meaning with our jobs, they set people over us that, made it hard for us, made it, very grievous for us. Read on.
And they built Pharaoh treasure cities, fit to man vanities. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
And there, man, And that's what they do right now. When they oppress you on your job, a lot of us, we work like 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts. All the oppression is to what? Make you diminish, make you stop having kids, make you, you know what I mean, more occupied in something else, make you more occupied in serving your oppressor. But here's the problem: the more they afflict us, the more we grow. And is it hard to believe? You mean when people are well, for men, when you are stressed out, what's the number one thing that you do? Let's be honest.
Have sex, man.
When you are oppressed, when you are stressed out, as a black man, I can't speak for no one else. You have sex. Many people, sex is like it's a relief. You have a bad day, you sleep with your wife. You mean you're angry, you sleep with your wife. Someone's got on your nerves, you go home and sleep with your wife. So the more they was oppressing us, it done the opposite. So you know what I mean? We was in a time of Exodus, you know what I mean, working hard, working for Ramses, building this city, that city. I know what happened. When you went home, you slept with your wife. You know what I mean? So they thought that oppression would stop us from, you know what I mean, having kids, but it done the opposite. Just like now, man, we work in McDonald's doing 12-hour shifts. You go home and sleep with your wife. And just like what happened back then, happen now. They had an issue with you growing exceedingly. They had a problem with you having lots of kids, and they tried to make your life hard, tried to make you work so much. Read on.
And they were grievous because of the children of Israel.
And there, man, the more they afflicted you and the more kids you had, they was grieved by it. Just like now, man, they got us working dead end jobs on minimum wage where you hardly even see your kids, but it hurts them that you have a lot much more kids than they can ever have. It grieves them when you talk about, yeah, you know, I got 6 kids. What? You know what I mean? On the job, because they're struggling to have one. That husband's going to the sperm bank, IVF, and the woman's doing IVF, doing whatever they can do to have one child, and there you are having kids by accident, man. One day, you know, your wife walks up to you, you know, I'm pregnant again. Like, you're like, again? Yo, man, we had one year ago, man. You know what I mean? I'm pregnant again, you know. And you know what I mean? She's saying I'm sorry, but you're like, oh well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're having kids by accident. Meanwhile, our oppressor, he's, you know what I mean, saving up money to invest in seeking advice on what he can do to have one child, man. If they have 2, it's a blessing. Like, all right, we had 2, enough. Meanwhile, damn, by accident, you could have an army. By accident, you could have the football team and the referee, man. Reader.
Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Zipporah and the other one was Puah.
So imagine this. We are multiplying that bad. First they tried to make our life, first they tried to oppress us, and we were still growing mightily, having kids, kids having kids, mothers having grandkids. And it got that bad that because work never stopped it, they had to just get more direct. They had to just talk to the midwives like, look, man, read on.
And he said, when you do the office of a midwife.
So when they do the office of a midwife, what's the office of a midwife? To bring forth a kid, a child. So when they do their job, which is to bring forth a daughter or a son out of a mother, read on.
Come and see them upon their stools. If it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
If it shall be what?
If it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
So why does it say, if it be a son, take its life? Why? Because with the genealogy or the generations, it comes through a man. So they're trying to stop us from reproducing, Obviously, the man has the sperm, he puts it in a woman. They're like, listen, if an Israelite woman has a child and it's a son, kill it. And when it says upon the all, you know what I mean? It ain't like now where a woman had a baby on her back. A woman would sit on a stool and with the part that she sat on, there was a hole cut out upon it, and the baby would come down, which is actually known as a more easier way to actually give birth. You can research it. It's more easier and it doesn't hurt the woman's back as well. If I'm correct.
Carl, you make gravity work. How the baby work?
That's right. So with the gravity, it works. So for a woman to give birth, it's easier. While as a woman giving birth on her back, from what I've heard and a bit of research, it actually damages her back in some instances. So that old method is a more easier and more safer way to give birth. Read on.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Read on.
But the midwives feared God.
So the midwife, they feared God. They didn't accept no abortion. The midwife didn't go, well, abortion's fine. Well, with Pharaoh, he said it. Pharaoh got in my ear and said, you know, if it's a man, you know what I mean, just kill it, man. Look at the Israelites having too much kids. They didn't listen to the doctor at the NHS. They didn't listen to some advisor. You know what I mean? But you can't afford it right now.
If I mean like basically us multiplying must be a big issue that must be multiplying. Because the king said. So you know the king not doing any issue. This actually the like now to get control. When the king or the prime minister or the queen gets involved in some shit, it's not you know the queen don't get involved in the literally accident or you know little small stuff. They get involved in you know one country is another country or they sit down with two different prime ministers and the king said to the midwife. So this we must have really been like you know acting like rabbits.
There you go. And as what the officer said, for the pharaoh to have to do it himself, meaning it was an issue. They were scared and afraid by how much we multiplied. That if it reaches the king or the pharaoh, then that's an issue. You know what I mean? If it was to the men that you know what I mean work for him, that's one thing. But when it reaches him and he's like, listen, no more babies, man. Those men, they have to die. Those sons, they gotta go because you lot are multiplying too much. Just like in the UK, man. You know what I mean? Anytime black people have any babies, and I'm not saying this just because I think so, it's researchable information. Anytime black people have any babies, they all try to advise you on aborting it. You know what I mean? Like, you got 3 kids already. You know what I mean? Can you afford it? You know what I mean? Are you sure? You know what I mean? Like, you can abort it. You know what I mean? They always try to advise black families to abort babies. Research it. It's common to where, you know what I mean? People even write articles about it. And why? This ain't nothing new. They're scared of you multiplying. They're scared of you having babies. Hence why they're always pushing you, yeah, abortion. You can't afford it. Who's going to look after it? Well, you're getting your great education. Who's going to look after the baby? They try to tell you anything you want to hear so that that baby dies. Read on.
And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this thing? And
imagine that. They feared the Lord. They didn't fear no Pharaoh. To where he had to ask him, like, why have you done this? Didn't I tell you to abort those men, abort those sons, abort those babies? Read on.
And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
There, so basically what they said is that we can't like basically with the women of the Israelites, they're not like the Egyptians. They are lively, man. They have kids so fast, like it's nothing we can catch up with. They're having kids so fast, there's nothing we can do. Unlike, and that, what does that let you know as well? Egyptian women, they cannot have the kids at the rate as the Israelite women. They weren't lively. And just like with our oppressors as well, they can't have kids like we can, man. You mean how much we have kids is phenomenal. You know what I mean? Is that much? Even amongst families, like, listen, man, we need to wear condoms. You better take that. What's that injection in the arm? That arm thing that the women take? Or what? Sorry, that you gotta take that EPO injection. We have to do it. You know what I mean? If people don't want that much kids, while as for our oppressors, having kids is a struggle. And when an oppressor man reaches 30s, forget about it. He's done. You know what I mean? He has to have him younger. He may never have any kids. It's an issue. While as for us, you know what I mean? Black men have kids when they're 50, 60, and it's nothing. Read on.
So, okay, chapter 2. And there went out a man of the house of Levi, and took a wife of the daughter of Levi, and the woman conceived and bare a son.
Uh-huh.
And when she saw that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
So why did she have to hide him? Because they wanted all the sons of Israel dead, man. They didn't want us to reproduce no more. And like I said, genealogy comes through the man. And they were trying to wipe us out with abortions. And guess what? Our ancestors had to do in Egypt, hide their sons. Imagine that. We was reproducing that much that we had to hide our sons to keep our generations alive. Read on.
And when she could not hide him, she took him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and laid it in the flags by the riverbank. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done of him.
There, so now she made like and she put it in the sea just to see what would happen of him. Read on.
And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept, and she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrew children." Then said his sister to the Pharaoh daughter, "Shall I go and call thee a nurse?"
All right, you know, that's going into something else. Have I got anything online? Any questions or anything? All right, no sweat. I have scripture actually. Ezekiel 22 and 26. Because with abortion, it's also being taught by black activists. You do know that in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, black communities, they were against abortion. You know what I mean? And now in these times, it's like as if we're fine with it, and the Bible also addresses that too. Go from Ezekiel, it's like Ezekiel 22 and 26.
Ezekiel 22, 26. Her priests have violated my law.
What did the Bible say?
Her priests have violated my law.
And how did the priest violate the law? By teaching you abortion's fine. By teaching you, you know, you're not ready yet. You know, a child ain't feasible for you right now. You know, look, man, you're so smart. And look, man, what to say? The world's your oyster. You know, you might want to have kids later and make you abort your kids, man. That's how to violate the law, by making you become a murderer. Read on.
And have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane.
And that's key, man. They put the difference between the holy and the profane. And that's what they do, man. You having kids, you raising them, feeding them, that's holy, man. That's separate. And to have an abortion, that's profanity right there, man. That's unclean. To let a doctor scrape a baby from out of you, that's profane. And guess what? It's your leaders, it's your activists that promote it. It's your black Christians, your black motivation speakers, your black advisors. They promote it. And they put no difference between the holy and the profane. That's them right there. Read on.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and clean.
And they don't show no difference. Your pastor, your black sheikh, your black imam, your black Christians, your black deacons, they don't show you a difference, man. Think about it. What is different from religion from what you see in the ghettos? Nothing, man. In the ghetto, you see hypocrites, liars, thieves, robbers. In the church, you see hypocrites, liars, thieves, robbers. In the mosque, liars, thieves, hypocrites, robbers. There's no difference. Why? Because they are in the world just like everybody else, man. And likewise in the church, they don't speak against abortions. In the mosque, they don't speak against abortions. Many black women that follow Islam, they have abortions too as well. Don't make them fool you. While they're wearing that letterbox headscarf thing, while they're wearing Yomin or that, they have one night stands. They're in them clubs. They're drinking alcohol, which Muslims shouldn't. And they have abortions too, man. And they don't put no difference between the clean and the profane, man. Read on.
Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves raving in the prey.
And there, man, they're wolves. They raving you. Your black motivationists, your black deacons, your black imams, they're wolves. Meaning they tell you what they want so that they can just get your money. It's what it's all about, man. In the church, have you ever realized God's never ever against you? According to your pastor, God's never ever against what you want. God never ever tells you nothing you don't want to hear. Is that just by coincidence? He's a wolf. And like any wolf, he wants your money, man. He's like, what is the analogy? A wolf devours something. A wolf preys upon something. And that's your pastor. He's a wolf preying upon you. From as long as he can get paid, he'll tell you what you like to hear. We'll get that abortion. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? God understands you. You know what I mean? You're not, what to say, you're not a bad person. It's just a situation you're in. And God don't care about your situation. God wants you to follow his laws. God wants you not to abort that baby. And that's the problem. Your pastor, your imam, he's a wolf, man. Reader.
To shed blood and destroy souls, to get this honest gain.
To do what?
Get this honest gain.
And there you go. I didn't even know that that part was there. And that's your pastors, that's your imams, that's your Pan-Africanists. All of them off you just make dishonest gain. They rob you, man. You're in the church. What are you doing? Buying every book, buying holy water which don't even exist. You know what I mean? This water came from the River Jordan and it's £5 in some bottle. Listen, that's tap water, man. Your pastor got that from the tap and he's selling it to you holy water, man. This cloth came from Jerusalem. This is £3 of cloth. You know what I mean? You got to buy the book about the Antichrist. You got to buy the book on, you know, the rapture, which ain't even in the Bible. You know what I mean? They make dishonest gain of you, like in the mosque, man. You got to buy the prayer rug. You got to buy the kufi. You got to buy the hijab. You got to go to Mecca. You got to do your hajj. That's dishonest of you. When you pay for your hajj, who gets the hajj money? Your imam. And then what does he do? He pays for your flight, man. And you do know a lot of them rob you. In the Midlands, the police, they were sending a warning out saying that be careful on who's offering you a flight to do your hajj. I mean, if you're aware of that, many people say, yeah, you pay me and I will sort out your journey for your hajj. And what happens? That flight don't even exist. You know what I mean? You ain't doing no hajj. He's took your money and he's gone, man. If you can get it for me about false hajj flights, about how the police had to give warnings out about many imams and sheikhs. They're taking your hajj money. They're telling you, yeah, man, you pay me and I'll sort you out to Mecca. I'll give you the flight. And no, they don't. They rob you. I think it's HAJJ from or vice versa. There you go. So this is from the police.uk. So this is the UK Police Force's official website. Read up.
Hajj fraud. Every year, more than 2 million Muslims celebrate Hajj by making pilgrimage to Mecca. In what is the world's biggest annual gathering of people?
There, so you know, of course, we don't follow Islam, but you know, according to their philosophy, once in your life, everyone that follows Islam must go to Mecca to, do the Hajj. What do they walk around the Kaaba stone, throw rocks at them, the pillars, and there's like a ritual, which is what it is. It's a ritual that they should do while they're in Mecca. Read on.
Within the mass of humanity are thousands of UK citizens, many of whom will have saved for years in the knowledge that for them this will be once in a lifetime trip.
So now they're letting you know that for years, many people, they've saved up lots of money for this trip that they believe is, like something great. Read on.
Unfortunately, as Hajj approaches, there will be also a significant number of Muslims who are paid for a tour package for themselves and their family, only to discover their dream have been shattered by fraudsters.
And that's Islam for you, man. While in our eyes, it's made to seem like, it's religion of peace and unity and salam alaikum. But look, they rob each other. You're giving them your Hajj money and they're fraudsters. Some of them go to Saudi Arabia and there's no hotel. There's no rental car out to the airport. Your imam, your sheikh, and his understudies, they rob you, man. And that's the problem. They are the wolves that Ezekiel was talking about, along with all religions, all people that so-called lead black people, and they're not in the I.S.U.P.K. Read on.
God, some who arrive in Saudi Arabia to discover the accommodation they booked does not exist, while others will find that their whole trip, in fact, was a scam.
There were some people, they do make it to Saudi Arabia and realize with their trip it's a scam, and that happens under Islam, man. For you, black man, while you're taught, this religion's one and it's for everyone, they rub each other on Hajj, man. Just like how your pastor, he robs you, man, about Easter service, Christmas service, and is robbing you blind. People that follow Islam, they rob each other too, man, on such a so-called holy day for them of Hajj. Read on.
God, by illegitimate travel operators that have disappeared with thousands of pounds of their money. In response to this ongoing threat to Muslims planning to make a trip to Mecca, the City of London Police, which is the UK Policing League for Fraud, has launched a national Hajj fraud prevention campaign.
Imagine that they rob each other so much. When it's time for Hajj, the police have to do a Hajj fraud campaign. Meaning, they rob each other so much that they gotta make sure that if you're spending all that money, make sure no one ain't robbing you. And these are the things that we don't know, man. These are the things that people don't like to tell you about religion. When it comes to religion, everyone makes it seem nice. Everyone makes it seem so, look, man, this is for everyone. You join, we're one. I won't lie to you. I won't rob from you. And yes, you will. And how do we know? We're reading about it where police have to do a Hajj fraud campaign. Read on in Ezekiel. That's it.
Ezekiel
22 and 27.
Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves, raving the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophet have daubed them with untempered mortar.
So what does that mean? Okay, you gotta know a bit of construction for this. When you build a wall with the mortar, you make sure that it's ready. Now, if you build a wall, if you daub them with the mortar that is untempered, meaning that it's not set, it's not firm. Meaning what? In religion, they make you have a wall which can easily be knocked down, man. Meaning you are living a lie. Imagine you got a wall and you think it's safe, it's firm, it's strong, it's going to protect you. Just to know that someone can easily knock it down. And that's religion, man. That's religion right there. You got a wall thinking it's firm and it's not, man. They're telling you you can have an abortion, you can do what you like, and the Lord ain't with you. And the Lord easily knocks that wall down, and you realize you've been living a lie. You good? Read on.
Seeing vanity and dividing lies.
Seeing what?
Vanity and dividing lies.
And they see vanity, man. You talking about dying and going to heaven? That's vanity when I'm living hell on earth, man. When I'm suffering on earth, so I'm gonna die and go to heaven. But what about now? What can I do to fix here right now? And that's the problem with religion. It's always vanity. You know what I mean? They're teaching you to have a abortion so that you can get that great education and be this accountant. That's vanity, man. So what about that child? What about his or her life? And that's vanity. When they tell you, bro, listen, man, you're gonna make lots of money, but listen, if you were that baby, you ain't gonna make it now, though. So with that child, it needs to go. That's vanity. Because believe me, I've known lots of people that have been to uni, done A levels, got this and that. And when I used to work in McDonald's, they was there with me, man. They was there with me making egg McMuffins, making bacon rolls. So what did that mean? Nothing. Read on.
Unto them saying, thus says the Lord God, when the Lord have not spoken.
And guess what? Everyone says that, man. God said this, God said that, and God didn't say none of it, man. That whole God understands, the Lord has not spoken that, man. God understands your situation. The Lord has not spoken that. You mean God understands that it's a rough time for you, and you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He will let you go. That's a lie. And the Lord has not spoken that. You spoke that. That pastor, that imam, that vicar, he spoke that. Read on.
The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and the needy. They have oppressed the stranger wrongfully.
No sweat. That's it on that one. Another one in Ezekiel 44 and 23.
Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane.
And that's us now. What we read in Ezekiel 22, that was the people that should not be leading black people. But at the I.S.U.P.K, what do we do? The verse Ezekiel.
And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane.
And that's what we do, man. In here, you learn the difference between the holy and the profanity. You learn it in here. You learn that abortions are unacceptable. You learn that you can't be a sinner and have God with you at the same time. You learn that religion ain't the way. You learn that Christianity is a lie. You learn that Islam's a lie. You learn that Pan-Africanism is a lie. You learn that Egyptology is a lie up in here. You learn the difference between what's holy and what is profane. Read on.
And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
And that's key, man. We make you discern, meaning we make you understand between the clean and the unclean. That's what we do in here, man. In here, we have a law class, scripture breakdown class so that you can learn the difference between the clean and the unclean. You learn what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. Read on.
And the profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. And in controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge according to my judgment, and keep my laws and my statutes in mine assemblies.
And we shall do what?
Keep my laws and statutes in mine assemblies.
And that's what this Bible's all about, man. Do you want to know what this Bible is all about? It's about you, black man, keeping God's laws and commandments. And all throughout the Bible, it's the same thing. We sinned. He made someone oppress us. We started following again. We sinned some more. It will send another nation or race of people over us to oppress us. And what you see going on in the UK right now, why is it happening? Because we're sinning. When you're in the mosque, you are sinning, black man. When you are in the church, you are sinning, black man. When you're talking about Horus, Ra, and Set, you are sinning, black man. When you're talking about Haile Selassie and the conquering lion of Judah, you are sinning, black man. And that's the problem. The reason why our oppressor is over us, because we ain't following God. We've been taught lies for hundreds of years where to follow God, you got to join mainstream religion. You got to follow what's out there. And none of these religions show you who you are, man. You're following Islam. You're following an Arab's way of life. You're following modern Christianity. You're following the Europeans. If you're following Pan-Africanism, you're following an African way of life, whether it's the Sudanese, whether it's the North Africans, the South Africans, the West Africans. If you're following Egyptology, you're following the Egyptians' philosophy. But where's your God? Where's your heritage? Where's your customs? And that's the problem. No, you know what I mean? In religion, they don't teach you who you are. They're more content with you just having your head in the dirt and just believing, well, nothing matters. When in the same Bible they read, race does matter, color does matter, ethnicity does matter. So everything that they teach you does not matter. According to the Bible, it's very important. It's very relevant. And you know, that's the problem. So who are we, man? We are the Israelites. Now, I know some of you online talking about, so we're not African. No, we're not, man. We are not African. Do the research. We got the books, Babylon to Timbuktu, Hebrewisms of West Africa. And even they know the people that were sold to slavery in the West Indies, North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean islands, they weren't Africans. They were Jews that migrated to the west coast of Africa. And it was tribes of Africans that sold them to the Europeans. So where's your God? You're following Pan-Africanism. You're following the oppressors, man. You're following the Ashanti tribe. You're following the Igbo tribe. You're following the Mandingo tribe, the Mali tribe. But you ain't none of them. You're talking about Ethiopia and Selassie. You ain't Ethiopian. Ethiopians don't even look like you. You know what I mean? Show me Ethiopian that looks like a black man from the West Indies, and you won't find none, man. Funny enough, I was watching a documentary on Haile Selassie last night, and looking at them like that's not us. No, like, do we look Ethiopian at all? So how are you gonna be them? And that's how I'm not sure which sect of Rastas it is, but one sector of Rastas, they went to Ethiopia and they go, listen, man, they're not us. And then they set up another sector of Rastas in West Africa. I believe it's the Nyabingis. Yeah. Basically, with the founder of the Nyabingis, it started in Ethiopia first, but him living in Ethiopia, he realized we're not Ethiopian. They don't look like us. They ain't got the same features of us. Yes, they got dark skin, but look at them. Is it Ethiopian looking like you? Is that Somalian looking like you? What's the other one? Eritrean. Is it Eritrean looking like you? And him with his common sense, which is what it is like, we're not them. We resemble more the people in West Africa, even though we're not them too. And then he started the sect called Naya Bingis in West Africa, in the Ghana and Liberia. So he had the common sense to know they're not us. And here we are talking about Selassie, you know, that when he's not of your people, he's an Ethiopian. Read on.
And they shall hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves.
All right, no sweat. Give me the last scripture, Jeremiah 6 and 16. I got anything line, anything. No sweat. Anything on the Facebook? Okay, no sweat. Hold on. Is he trying to promote something? All right. Anyway, yeah. Let's get on with it.
Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith the Lord, standing in the way and see.
And now listen to what God told Jeremiah. Stand in the way and see, meaning look around. You know, people always wonder, where's God? How do I find him? Just look around. Look at all religion. See the hypocrisy, the lies, murder, the robbery. And you know what I mean? Even by standing and seeing, that would let you know that God ain't there, man. In the church, just by looking, God ain't there, man. Everyone's thieving of each other, hypocrites. In the church, while they sing and dance together, they all hate each other behind each other's back. You know, with the minister so and so, you know, his son's locked up. I heard with him, you know, he's a thief. You know what I mean? He drinks. They all talk about each other, and you're telling me God's there? God ain't there, man. Then you go in the mosque, man. You know what I mean? You think everyone's together. You go to a black mosque, and what happens, man? Everyone's selling drugs. And while they're on Friday acting all holy, you hear the phone ringing. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Okay, when I'm done, I'll meet you here and we'll exchange. They're selling drugs. All of your UK rap stars, they follow Islam and they are drug dealers and they're getting locked up damn near all the time on what? Drug offenses, trafficking drugs. And they follow Islam. Even in some of their rap speaking Arabic, talking about Juma and all that stuff. And they are drug dealers. They are drug dealers and getting locked up for trafficking drugs all the time. So you go in the mosque and you see what? Drug dealing. They are killing the black community, talking about Islam's for black people. When you are killing black people, man.
So even I saw like tunes talking about, yeah, but mashallah, whatever. And he's under the jail right now, man. To speak.
There you go.
See the Bible.
I seen it, yeah. And you know what I mean? Again, he was doing big drugs too, man. And there you go, and he's talking about Islam and peace and all that. When you are killing people, man, you're a witch according to the Bible, or a wizard. That's a better way. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, man. So this is the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding General YAHANNA. You know what I mean? Just to let you know as well, September the 28th, at the school 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. We're gonna have the feast of trumpets over here too, man. Of course, if you're an Israelite only, you're invited. If you're not, don't waste your time. You're not coming in. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's for you. And yeah, we got some lectures coming up. One in November, December, and January. You know what I mean? So look out for them too. They're gonna be held here at 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. The first one's going to be on the Islam, about how the Quran is tampered with and Islam ain't for black people. So if you're a black man and you want the truth, you don't want no opinions and you want facts, then it will behoove you to, you know, make your way to that lecture too, man. All right, then with that, I'm going to hand it over to priest and officer of 5,000, Karafia.
That was a powerful class from the brother behind. With the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will call each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew Ma'ashra, 10% of any penny of any increase God gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest one, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is memorial blood of trumpets. All outcomes in the bulletin board in the hallway. And check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a troop in the schools that wear all black boot shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf, with that in mind, that's right. The Lord's Prayer, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'ah, Baratazaka, Hayah, Aishah, Baratazah, Kawar, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathanawa, Nakam, Cow, Yuwam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'ah, Tabaya'aynawa, Banasayawan, Abor, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Right, Kayab, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahafapara, Iwalumyum, and in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. With that, one can speak to teacher, Beneficial, Amal Shabbat, Imadim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah,
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah,
Yajamata, and class dismissed.